Rockford Rivets baseball is on the air from Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, high above Witter Field in the press box. Hello, everybody, and good evening. Thanks for joining us. Alongside Adam Cohen, I'm Larry Larson, getting you set for the Rockford Rivets taking on the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. And Adam, last night was a rough one for the Rivets. They dropped it 4-2, and it was a frustrating game all around for everybody in that Rockford dugout.
Well, the Rivets were close in that game at one point. They were tied up 2-2, but starter Zach Kameen ended up getting the loss, allowing 3 earned runs in just 4 1/3 innings pitched. And the Screws have lost 4 out of their last 5 games, so they're entering a tough skid in Game 2 against the Rafters.
They certainly are. Josh Keim got ejected last night, the Rivets manager, late in the ball game, frustrated with some balls and strikes calls. We caught up with him before tonight's ball game. Let's hear what he had to say on the Rockford Rivets pregame show. Larry Larson here with Rivets manager Josh Keim. And Josh, it's been a rough stretch, lost 4 of 5 these last few games. And in a season like this, it's important to limit the damage. How do you go about that as a manager to make sure this doesn't turn into an extended slide?
Yeah, no, right now as a coaching staff, we're talking about making adjustments to, the lineup, to, how we go about our pitching. In every season, there's a point where it's like this, where you go through a stretch, and, I've told our guys today with the hitters, we have struggled offensively. After those 2 games last week, we've struggled in this stretch, scoring runs and just getting on base. And we had a meeting and we talked about they're not doing as bad as they think. I think that, everything that you do in this game is contagious, whether you go about doing things the right way on the field, off the field, in the dugout, in the bullpen. And the same goes with production. So, when you're struggling, you're striking out, you immediately think that you're not doing well. And right now, that's not the case. We still have guys that are playing good baseball. And it's reminding them that, just because we're going through a rough stretch right now as a team, doesn't mean we cash it in and we're done. It's just building back that confidence, knowing roles, and going out and competing and just being aggressive. I've told them, if we make mistakes, I get it, as long as they're aggressive, and right now we're kind of on our heels a little bit, and our offense has been slow, pitching, it's kind of a toss-up, defense, it's been a toss-up. So if we can have a little bit of confidence, come out and compete and play aggressive, I think we'll be fine. We'll get right back on track, just because I really believe in this team and the guys that we put out there every night.
One of the guys that's been out there almost every night, Bobby Seymour. We want to talk about an adjustment. He's up to the leadoff spot. What do you like from him there?
Yeah, no, Bobby's been a guy who's been on base pretty consistent the whole summer, and he's been swinging well as of late, and he, again, I get it, he's not going to be the guy who's going to steal any bases, but that's not what it's about right now. We just need guys on base, and we're able to move the ball around a little bit and drive some guys in. So with that decision, Bobby's been consistently getting on base. I have a system that I like to do where when we're struggling a little bit, I put in a formula and kind of figure it out from there, and that's what I did with this lineup tonight, so we'll see if it works.
Jordan Nelson making a spot start tonight. What do you expect from the returner?
No, I expect to get quality innings out of him. Just, he's a guy who he has experience in this league. He wants the ball every day, it seems like. So it was a no-brainer to spot start him, and hopefully he can get us to the 5th, and then we'll kind of go on from there, just because we need him, down the stretch. I mean, he's a quality arm for us. He gives us quality innings. He eats up innings, and the kid always gives us a chance, no matter what. So, I have the utmost confidence in Jordan tonight.
Last but not least, today's the halfway point of a 48-game season, game number 24. Hard to believe. What do you think about your team's spot right now, just one game out of a playoff spot?
Yeah, I think, it kind of just goes back. We're up and down right now. When we're playing great, we're playing great. When we're not playing great, it's not good. So it's finding that middle point. And with us being halfway through, it's just a reminder that, we still have a lot of baseball left to play. The summer isn't done, and it's another thing I've reminded our guys is, with school starting in August and report dates for school and this and that, they're here right now. Be where your feet are. That's what I've told them. And right now it's to come out and compete and not only help this team win, but, get better. And no matter what role they're in, whether they're in the lineup or not, all of those details matter at this point in the summer. Even with, we've talked, Larry, you and I have talked a lot about, us this year not playing, these guys having 3 months off, these guys playing now consistently for a month, with one off day. At times it's felt like we've gone right back to where it's normally at in the summer at this time in a normal season, and that's not the case. So it's just a reminder to these guys that we still have a lot of baseball left to play in this game. Anything can happen, so we just take it one day at a time, and hopefully we can start to produce a little more, get back on track, and take care of the ball, most importantly, and just limit some mistakes, and I think we'll be okay.
Josh, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Good luck today.
Thanks, Larry.
Welcome back to Witter Field. Adam Cohen, Josh Keim, really not frustrated that much with the Rivets losing 4 of their last 5 games. Everything is pretty positive down there in the first base dugout.
As mentioned on the interview, Keim just wants to see the Rivets order become a little bit more aggressive. And they're still getting their reps in. They're still walking a lot, having a high on-base percentage. And every team goes through these tough skids. He still has a lot of confidence in this team, and hopefully their skid ends tonight.
Game number 24 of 48 coming up for both of these teams, the Rockford Rivets and the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. Let's get you your starting lineups for tonight's ball game, starting with the visiting Rockford Rivets. It'll be Bobby Seymour in the top spot. You heard about that in the interview with Josh Keim, moving up there for his first game this season. Cam McDonald will play third base and bats second. Jeff Heinrich bats third and will be tonight's DH. Matt Higgins in the cleanup spot. The junior from Bellarmine will be stationed in right field. Brandon Comia bats fifth and will play shortstop. Brody Harding, the second baseman, bats sixth. Daniel Carinci, the left fielder, bats seventh. Connor Manthe, the catcher, bats eighth. And Dom Hughes will play center field and bat ninth.
In the outfield for the Rafters, pitcher-turned-hitter Cole Bartles will man left field. Speedy center fielder Billy Cook. Andy Garriola in right field. Around the horn, power from the left side. Hank Zeisler at third base. Christian Sepulveda at short. Roman Tejillo at second. Jack Thomas Wold at first. Jake Dunham behind a dish. And Spencer Arrighetti on the bum.
Spencer Arrighetti, the right-hander out of Louisiana Lafayette. The Texas native stands at 6'2", 195 pounds. This is just his second start this season. In his first start, he went 4 innings, only allowed 1 hit and no runs, and struck out 5. Adam, the Rivets have seen him before, but that was in relief, and he was rock solid at Rivet Stadium on July 9th.
He had a very impressive outing, so it's no wonder that he's getting the starting nod today. He's been excellent for the Rafters this season, has yet to allow an earned run in 6 innings pitched. Just 4 hits, 6 walks, and 23 Ks. Easily the best pitcher on a loaded Rafters staff.
A Rafters staff that boasts the best ERA in the Wisconsin-Illinois pod, and the Rivets come in second in that stat at 3.09 in the pod. We'll be right back after a quick break for our national anthem. Just about 4 minutes from game time from Witter Field in Wisconsin Rapids. Rafters, Rivets coming up after this on the Rivets YouTube channel. Back in Wisconsin Rapids, just moments away from game time between the Rockford Rivets and the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. The Rivets enter this one with a record of 12-11, one game back of first place in the Wisconsin-Illinois East Division. And Wisconsin Rapids enters this one at a pod best 16-7 in first place by a wide margin of 6 games over La Crosse in the West Division. And Adam, the Rivets lead the season series 2-1 after sweeping the first 2 games of the series back in Rockford. That was a few weeks ago, and last night's matchup was certainly different for the Rivets. What are you looking for out of them for bounce back tonight?
Well, Arrighetti throws a lot of strikes, can rack up a lot of strikeouts, so Rivets need to be ahead early in the count, be aggressive, and just be consistent at the plate. If they can do all that, that can help. And they also have Jordan Nelson on the mound for them, as you mentioned. He's been excellent out of relief and making his first start tonight. He can probably give them a really good outing, and they're hoping to take one from the Rafters, who are very tough at home.
Entering with a record of 11-1 at home, their only loss came to the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders. Bobby Seymour trots to the left-handed batter's box. About set to play ball. 3:15 down the lines, 366 to dead center. Rivets in their road grays with gold lettering and numbers, and the Rafters in their home whites with black sleeves, red lettering, red numbers, and black and white caps. Arrighetti working from the windup from the left side of the rubber. Kicks and fires the first pitch to Seymour, and he lifts it into left field. Shading in is Bartles, and he makes a jogging catch. 1 pitch, 1 out in the top half of the first.
Already you're seeing the Rivets be aggressive. Usually Bobby Seymour runs the count pretty deep, but he's gotten behind the count a lot of times this season. Saw a first pitch fastball in the outer corner of the plate, has power to all fields, and just got a tad underneath that one.
So the second batter, Cam McDonald, steps in. Righty against righty matchup. Arrighetti kicks and deals. Called strike, fastball right down the middle. McDonald did not play in last night's ball game. Comes in to this ball game hitting .237. 1-1 misses, it is 1-1 after the next pitch misses upstairs, another fastball. McDonald standing at 6'5", the sophomore from Illinois. Here's the 1-1. Off speed, catches the inside corner, and it's 1-2. McDonald had a sophomore slump at Illinois, but has bounced back here in Rockford. It's been a process for him. Here comes the 1-2. Fouled off the hands. Back to the net. We'll have another 1-2. He's put together these good at-bats at him. He does not strike out often. Just 9 times this season in 59 at-bats. Here's another 1-2. Line the other way. It's falling fast, and it falls in front of the right fielder, Andy Garriola, and it's a 1-out single in the top half of the first for Cam McDonald.
There's a reason why McDonald was moved up to the number 2 slot today. As you mentioned, Larry doesn't strike out all too often. A good contact hitter. He fought off that hard fastball in the inner third of the plate and tapped it into right field, getting the Rivets' first base hit of the night. They only had 3 yesterday.
0-0 ball game just getting underway from Witter Field as Jeff Heinrich steps in with McDonald on first base. Heinrich was 0 for 4 last night and takes a fastball inside for ball 1. Heinrich, the DH tonight, junior from South Carolina. Lake in the Hills, Illinois native, about an hour from Rockford. Arrighetti working from the stretch. McDonald with a few feet lead off of first base. Does not take off. 1-0 misses outside. Dunham had to reach out with full extension with his glove hand to stop that one, and it's 2-0.
McDonald could be a threat to go. Leads the team with 4 stolen bases on the season. About 10 feet off of first base.
2-0 to Heinrich. Fastball misses downstairs, and it's 3-0. Heinrich got off to a slow start, but then got hot, and he's won Northwoods League Player of the Night twice this season. A couple 3-hit ball games to his name. Arrighetti set for the 3-0. Here it is. Swung on and missed by Heinrich. It's a foul tip right into the glove of Dunham, and now it's 3-1. Adam, are you surprised at all to see that 3-0 green light?
Not too surprised by that. Heinrich, one of the best power threats in the Rivets lineup tonight.
He'll have another hitter's count here, 3-1. Arrighetti kicks and fires. Fastball misses outside, and it's ball 4. So it's 2 on, 1 out here in the top half of the first for Rockford. And it brings up Matt Higgins with 1 out.
Nothing better than getting the Rivets going with a couple runners on in the first inning. And Rivets placing Higgins in the cleanup spot. Usually Seymour is there, but Higgins a nice piece too. He is up there in slugging percentage, .397 for the team.
Higgins, the left-handed batter. Pink ankle guard on his front foot. Arrighetti comes set at the belt and delivers the first pitch. Fastball catches the outer half for strike 1. Arrighetti, the Louisiana Lafayette pitcher, will head there this fall. He's transferred around in his college career. Started at TCU, went to Navarro College, and then will head to Louisiana this fall. Here's the 0-1 to Higgins. Swung on and fouled down the right field line. Higgins out in front of that one, and it's quickly 0-2.
Although Arrighetti has bounced around, he seems to be finding his home here for the Rafters. Already posting together an excellent season, but finds himself in a bit of trouble here.
Start to the ball game is oh so important on both sides. 2 on, 1 out. Here's the 0-2 to Matt Higgins. Swung on and missed. That was a nice off-speed offering. He buried it in the dirt, and that's out number 2 here in the first inning. Still nothing, but Rockford threatening, and now it's up to Brandon Comia.
That's a big out for Arrighetti. Higgins doesn't strike you out all too often, and with Rivets already threatening, needs to get that big hitter out.
Rivets struck out 15 times last night, which is very high for them. Brandon Comia has struck out a lot lately. First pitch to him, outside in the dirt, taken for ball 1. Brandon definitely can be considered a streaky hitter. He's got 5 multi-hit games and 11 hitless games, and he's hitless in his last 4, 0 for 13 over that stretch. The sophomore from the U of I ended the NCAA season on a 10-game hit streak. 1-0 to him. It gets through Dunham. Fastball in the dirt allows McDonald to move up to third and Heinrich to move up to second. So a base knock could give Rockford a 2-0 lead.
Great spot for Comia here, as Larry mentioned. He's been struggling as of late. 0 for his last 13 now, finds himself a couple ducks on the pond. A base hit would not only end a streak, but also get the Rivets up early.
Comia leads the team in strikeouts. He's ahead 2-0 here. Arrighetti back to the windup with runners on second and third. Slides, steps, and delivers the 2-0. Chopped up the middle, charging is Sepulveda. He gloves it, throws across his body to retire Brandon Comia. So the Rivets strand Cam McDonald and Jeff Heinrich in scoring position in the first inning, and they're held scoreless. It's Rockford 0. Rafters coming up on the Rockford Rivets YouTube channel. Welcome back to Witter Field. Getting set for the bottom half of the first scoreless ball game after the Rivets stranded 2 runners in scoring position in the top half. Here's how manager Craig Noto lines things up for the Pod Best Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. Richie Sheikoff for the DH in the top spot, the lefty from Rutgers. Billy Cook in the 2-hole. He'll play center field, the junior from Pepperdine. Jack Thomas Wold in the 3 spot. He's from UNLV, the first baseman tonight. Jake Dunham, the NIU Husky, and the catcher, bats cleanup. Andy Garriola in the 5 spot. Hank Zeisler bats 6th. Christian Sepulveda at shortstop, batting 7th. Cole Bartles out in left, batting 8th. And Roman Trujillo, the second baseman, rounds things out. And that's how the Rafters will face Jordan Nelson. The senior out of Dubuque. Will get you the defensive lineup here in a moment from Adam Cohen. But Adam, Jordan Nelson getting the spot start tonight, his first start of the season.
It's been a reliable option out of the pen for the Rivets.
First pitch to Sheikoffer, swung at and popped into left field. Daniel Carinci is camped under it and makes the catch for out number 1. Just like the top half, 1 pitch, 1 out. An efficient start for Jordan Nelson.
As Daniel Carinci out in left field caught out number 1, let's take a look at the Rivets defense. Dom Hughes, man center. Higgins in right, around the horn. Cam McDonald at third, Brandon Camilla at short, Brody Harding at second, and Bobby Seymour at first.
Nelson delivers the first pitch to Billy Cook. Fastball in there for a called strike. Cook, the junior from Pepperdine, has been on fire lately. Was 3 for 4 last night with an RBI and a double and 2 stolen bags. Here's the 0-1 to him. Curveball buried in the dirt for ball 2. Cook from Pepperdine. Monument, Colorado native. Here's the 1-1 to him. Fastball chopped to the left side past McDonald. Backhand snag by Brandon Comey. Off-balance throw is not in time. That was going to be a tough play for Comey to make. He barely got the throw off, and it was an awkward angle. So results in an infield hit for Billy Cook with 1 away here in the bottom of the first.
Cook has great speed. 3 stolen bases on the season. Once that ball got by McDonald, Cook was guaranteed a hit. He has great range and athleticism, but just unable to make the strong throw deep in the pocket at shortstop.
Still 0-0, 1 away. Bottom half of the first in Wisconsin Rapids. Nelson works from the stretch, getting ready to face Jack Thomas Wold. The first pitch to him, fastball called strike on the outer black to the left-hander. Wold, the junior from UNLV, goes by 2 first names. Jack Thomas. Not something you see every day. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed on a changeup from Nelson. Again, pounding the outside corner.
When Nelson's on the top of his game, he can really locate his spots. 4-pitch mix, fastball, 2-seam slider, curveball. What will he go with here?
Cook takes his lead off first base. Here's the 0-2 to Wold. Fastball just misses low, says the home plate umpire Tristan Jones. Tim Heigl at third base and Dylan Holsey at first base, tonight's officiating crew. Here's the 1-2 to Wold, well outside. 2-seam fastball darted away a little bit too far. Taking a look at Wold's numbers last night, he was just 1 for 4. Enters this ball game hitting .267 with 3 homers. Has some pop in that bat. Here's the 2-2, swung on and just nicked on a pitch that ran in on the hands of the lefty. So he stays alive, and we'll do the 2-2 again. Nelson looking in for the sign. Gives a brief look to Cook on first base. Comes set at the belt. Kicks and fires the 2-2. Chopped right to Bobby Seymour. He makes the catch and steps on first base. And that's an unassisted double play to end the bottom half of the first. Jordan Nelson pitches to contact, and it works out for him. Still scoreless after 1 from Witter Field. We'll be right back on the Rockford Rivets YouTube channel. Scoreless ball game headed to the top half of the second at Witter Field between the Rockford Rivets and the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. Thanks for joining us on a comfortable Saturday evening for baseball. A little humid up here in the heart of Wisconsin. 87 degrees at game time. Mostly cloudy skies, though. Breeze blowing in from right field, which plays to the advantage of the pitchers. Rockford will send up 6, 7, 8 in the order, starting with Brody Harding, Daniel Carinci on deck, and Manthe, the catcher, in the hole. Harding, the freshman from Illinois, tonight's second baseman, steps in and awaits the first pitch. It's a fastball outside for ball one. Last night's ball game, Harding went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts to snap a 12-game on-base streak. Has been relatively consistent for Josh Keim this season. Takes another fastball again outside, and it's 2-0.
He's found himself leading off inning a lot of times this season, making several appearances and even in the leadoff hole.
Tonight down in the 6th spot. 2-0 to him. Swung on and fouled off. That got a piece of the catcher, Dunham. He looks to be all right. Now it's 2-1. Harding, the left-handed hitter, native of Moline, Illinois, the Quad Cities. Arrighetti takes a deep breath and delivers the 2-1. Fastball again outside. That's 3 balls, all outside, and it's 3-1 on the Rockford second baseman. Harding with the hands behind his helmet, waggles the bat slightly, and here's the 3-1. Chopped at and fouled off the leg of Harding. That one looked to be a bit painful, missed his leg guard on his front foot. He walks it off, and now it's full.
Arrighetti not afraid to throw inside. He's thrown a couple of hard fastballs in there already. And so far it looks like Harding is jammed on a couple of them. Usually when they go hard inside, a 2-strike count. Sometimes they'll go soft away afterwards.
We'll see what Arrighetti goes to here on a full count. Again, takes a deep breath and delivers the payoff pitch. Curveball way outside. That seems to be his miss early on, and it's a leadoff walk. Here in the top half of the second, Rockford looking to break a scoreless tie.
Harding has been such a table setter for the Rivets this season. Has 9 walks on the year, 9 runs scored, and 3 stolen bases.
Up steps Daniel Carinci, the righty. Takes a big lean back before watching the first pitch from Arrighetti in there for a called strike. Fastball paints the inside corner. Carinci, tonight's left fielder, did not play last night. Josh Keim has thrown him all over the field so far this year, infield, outfield, you name it. Arrighetti from the stretch, quick pickoff throw on Harding. He dives back safely. Throw was a bit high, and Wold couldn't get the tag down in time. Carinci, the Kansas State sophomore, soon to be junior. Arrighetti sets at the letters. Looks in for the sign. He's got it. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Arrighetti goes back to the off speed. That one looked like a changeup, and it's 0-2.
So far for Arrighetti, not able to find the curveball, but has a nice fastball changeup miss that has been working for him.
Has 1 strikeout, looking for number 2. Comes set from the left side of the rubber and steps off to chase Harding back to first without a throw. He's back out there with a big lead. And here's the 0-2 to Carinci. It swung on and missed. A very off-balance swing from Carinci is strikeout number 2 of the night for Arrighetti. 1 down here in the top half of the second with a runner on first for Rockford.
And see Carinci be a bit of a free swinger sometimes. No walks in the season and a good amount of strikeouts. That was a big boy hack right there. He's looking towards the 315 left field porch, but he will be set down for out number 1.
Before the first pitch to Connor Manthe, Arrighetti throws back over to first base to again check on Harding. He's got some good speed. Manthe did not play last night, but gets the start at catcher tonight. Here's the first pitch to the Bradley Brave, and instead another pickoff throw, and this time they pick Brody Harding off first base. Looked like he slipped at him. He got caught leaning and couldn't get back to the bag in time. Wold put the tag on him, and there's 2 down.
Larry, it wasn't a matter of if, it was when. Harding looked like he was lagging behind Arrighetti's pickoff throws, and that time found himself just all caught up at first base.
Arrighetti back to the windup. Manthe takes a fastball low for the first pitch of the AB, 1-0. And there is one of those mistakes that Josh Keim talks about that the Rivets need to limit in a stretch like this. The 1-0 to Manthe, fouled off over our heads and possibly out of the ballpark here at Witter Field. And it's 1-1.
You mentioned that the Rivets make aggressive mistakes. That's a mistake you can live with, but getting picked off at first base by Arrighetti, that's not the mistake that you're looking for.
Certainly not. Base runners always big, especially in the early going when you want to jump out and get momentum, something that the Rivets have struggled with a little bit lately. Here's the 1-1 to Manthe. He ducks out of the way. A curveball drops behind him. And that one wasn't even close, and it's 2-1. Manthe has his bat heating up lately. Comes into this ball game hitting .261. He has 8 walks in 9 games. 2-1 to him. Fastball paints the outer half, and it's 2-2.
Manthe also sports a 7-game on-base streak, as he's behind the count right now.
Arrighetti takes a deep breath, kicks and delivers the 2-2. Fastball misses high and away. Arrighetti has been pounding around the zone with that fastball. Not close enough there, and now it's full on the Rockford backstop. Here's the 3-2. Fouled off, and we'll do it again.
Manthe is another player on the Rivets who is always even-keeled during his ABs and able to work long at bats. Arrighetti throws hard, topping out 92 today, but Manthe is still staying with it, trying to find a way on board.
Long at bat from the Rockford catcher. Here's another payoff pitch. Fastball called, strike 3. Manthe was on his way to first base. He thought it was low, but it was not. And it's a looking strikeout for the 3rd out of the top half of the 2nd. We're still scoreless after 1.5. We'll be right back on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network. Bottom half of the 2nd from Witter Field. Rivets nothing, Rafters nothing. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters, the heart of the order, up for the Rafters in the bottom half of the 2nd to face Jordan Nelson, who faced the minimum in the 1st. Worked around a 1-out single from Billy Cook. Ending on a line-out double play to Bobby Seymour down at first base. Nelson off to an efficient start. He'll face Jake Dunham, the catcher from NIU. Enters this ball game with a .250 batting average and a pod-leading 20 walks Very impressive. First pitch to him. Slow curveball, misses upstairs, ball 1.
The Rafters will certainly draw their lots. He's tied atop the team lead, actually, with teammate Ryan Wallstad.
Wallstad not in the lineup tonight. We might see him later. Here's the 0-1, lined the other way. Coming in is Higgins, and he reaches out to make the catch as that ball was tailing towards the right field line. Another quick out to start off the second inning for Jordan Nelson.
That was a good read by Higgins out in right field, made a good first step. Ball was tailing away from him, but he was able to haul it in for out number 1. Nelson leaving up to his defense, throwing a lot of strikes so far.
Andy Garriola steps in. First pitch to him. Fastball dots the outer half. Manthe framed that one up nice. And it's 0-1. Garriola, the redshirt sophomore from Old Dominion University. Tonight's right fielder. Nelson winds and deals. Fastball misses. It's a called strike, just dotting the corner low and away. That one did not look all that good from our perspective, but it's quickly 0-2 on Garriola. Nelson working quickly. Here's the 0-2. Chopped to second base. Brody Harding shades over and throws on to first to Bobby Seymour in time for out number 2.
This is exactly the type of start the Rivets have been hoping for, and they've seen a lot of success from their starters lately, just having a 1.54 ERA in their last 5 games, and Nelson making quick work of these Rafters hitters, showing that maybe he can go pretty deep in tonight's ball game.
2 outs for Hank Zeisler, 0-0 ball game, bottom half of the second in Wisconsin Rapids. The first pitch to Zeisler. Fastball catches the outside corner again to the lefty. Zeisler, the junior from Chapman University, was 1 for 4 in last night's ball game with a double. 0-1 to him, in on the hands, and it's popped up to third base. Cam McDonald shades into foul territory, reaches over his head, and makes the catch for out number 3. Jordan Nelson is cruising along through 2 innings. We're still scoreless between the Rockford Rivets and the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. We'll be right back on the Rivets Radio Network. Getting set for the top half of the third from Witter Field. Rockford will send up the 9-1-2 hitters, Dom Hughes, Bobby Seymour, and Cam McDonald, looking to break a scoreless tie. Jordan Nelson cruising along. Spencer Arrighetti also looking good. Both starters off to good starts. Arrighetti has 3 strikeouts to his name and will look to keep a good thing going against the Rockford center fielder, Hughes. Hughes is just 2 for his last 16. Gets on base a fair amount, an on-base percentage of .360. Almost a second leadoff hitter of sorts. And the first pitch misses way outside, and it's ball 1. Hughes, the left-handed batter, crowds the inside chalk line on the left-handed batter's box and awaits the 1-0. Here it is. Fastball finds the zone that time, and it's 1-1. Arrighetti has the glove at the letters and now delivers the 1-1, and it nearly hits Dom Hughes, and it's 2-1. Hughes leads the pod in hit by pitches with 6.
The Rivets also lead the pot with 21 hit by pitches as a team.
Any way he can get on base. Arrighetti fires the 2-1. Popped up to the left side. Giving chase is Zeisler. He's going to have to run a long way, and he cannot get there. Runs all the way into the Rafters bullpen down the left field line. There is lots of foul territory here at Witter Field. At least 30 feet to the left and right, respectively, of the lines. Both bullpens situated down the lines. 2-2 on Dom Hughes. Arrighetti delivers. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 4, that time on the high cheese to Dom Hughes for the first out of the third inning. 0-0 ball game between the Rivets and the Rafters.
Arrighetti's fastball has been blowing by these Rivets hitters. Third strikeout in a row. 4th overall in the ball game. And he's been sitting low 90s all night, blowing past these Rivets hitters.
Brings up the top of the order in Bobby Seymour. Seymour flew out to left field on the first pitch of the ball game in his first AB. Pitch number 1 to him, misses outside. Ball 1, and Arrighetti has been doing a nice job. More often than not, he's missed on the first pitch at him, but he's come back to battle his way through these ABs. 1-0 to Seymour. Taken for a strike. Fastball that time on the inner half, and it's 1-1.
Sometimes it's not always about the first pitch in, but the first 3 pitches, if you're ahead by then, or can get the hitter out, that's a good way to go.
Arrighetti to Seymour for the 1-1. Tailing breaking ball. Looked like a bit of a two-seam fastball swung on and missed by Seymour, and it's 1-2.
See, now after the third pitch he's ahead, that was actually the motive was preached by former Pirates pitching coach.
Arrighetti kicks and deals the 1-2. Curveball way outside that time. And it's 2-2. Adam, that's been his miss. Outside to left-handed batters. Almost in that right-handed batter's box.
Rivets do boast 4 lefty hitters and just unable to catch that part of the plate so far.
He'll try again with a 2-2 to Seymour. Fastball called strike 3 on the outer half. That one looked a tad outside. Seymour didn't offer at it as a result. And that's the second looking strikeout for Arrighetti, K number 5, and there's 2 down in the Rockford third inning.
Looks like the broadcaster's jinx comes into play right there. Having trouble locating the outside, but painting the corner to get out Seymour for out number 2.
Brings up Cam McDonald for his second plate appearance. First pitch to him, swung on and fouled off down the right field side and well out of play. McDonald singled back in the first inning and was stranded on third base. Tall third baseman for Rockford, can play corner infield and corner outfield. 0-1 to McDonald. It just barely misses glancing his jersey. Off-speed stuff way out of control from Arrighetti, and it's 1-1.
He's been effectively wild tonight, picking up 5 strikeouts, of course, but all over the place with his fastball and curveball combo.
Arrighetti looks in for the sign, nods, he's got it. Steps and fires. Curveball way upstairs, past the letters to the 6'5 McDonald, and it's 2-1 on him. Two-one, chopped to short. Charging it is Sepulveda. He tries to barehand it, and he can't grab it. Ball gets kicked back to the mound, and Arrighetti picks it up. And Cam McDonald is aboard with what looks like an error with 2 outs here in the third.
We'll have to see how that one is scored, but it is a tough play for Sepulveda to make. Had to come in on that one. Had one play, getting the bare hand. McDonald runs very well. Has a couple of cheap hits today, but it's all the same in the scorebook. Jam shot and now infield single.
That will be ruled an error on Sepulveda. The first pitch to Jeff Heinrich, taken outside, snap throw down to first base. Not in time. McDonald dove for the outer half of the bag. Smart there. The throw from Dunham was low. 1-0 on the Rockford DH. Heinrich walked in the first and was stranded on second. Arrighetti from the stretch sets at the letters and offers the 1-0. Fastball outside, and it's 2-0.
Heinrich is not afraid to swing a hitter's count. Swung 3-0 last time. Arrighetti's relied heavily on the fastball today. Could be a good pitch for Heinrich to hit here in a 2-0 count.
He's got some pop. 2-0 to him. Off-speed offering misses low, and it's 3-0. Adam, do we see the 3-0 hack again from Heinrich?
Rivets have been struggling on offense, so I would imagine gets another 3-0 hack right here.
Arrighetti is ready. And here's the 3-0 to Heinrich. Fastball low. It gets away from Dunham, but he keeps it in front of him. It's ball 4 to Jeff Heinrich, and Rockford has 2 on with 2 out in a scoreless ball game in the top half of the third.
As we mentioned, Arrighetti has been effectively wild. 5 strikeouts, but 3 walks allowed as well. Another big spot for Higgins with a couple runners on yet again.
Higgins, the cleanup batter, struck out back in the first inning. Leads the team with 3 home runs. Up there with 14 RBIs. First pitch to him, swung on and missed. Arrighetti went with a 2-seam fastball there and tailed away from the lefty Higgins. Arrighetti worked out of a jam in the first inning, as we've mentioned. Left runners on second and third, looking to do the same here in the third. 0-1, dots the outside corner to Higgins. Arrighetti is really finding the zone now. It's 0-2.
He's really finding the outside corner as well. Struggled with that through the first 2 innings, but better with that here in the third.
Louisiana Lafayette product looking for strikeout number 6 on the young evening. The 0-2 to Higgins. Breaking ball in the dirt. Stopped by Dunham, and it's ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Rockford right fielder. Returner for Josh Keim. Played in all but 2 games last year. He's been getting lots of playing time for the Screws this season yet again. 1-2 on the way. Fastball outside. Higgins is working the count. It's 2-2 now.
Last season, Higgins had over 40 walks for the Rivets, and he used to try to battle his way back in the count here. Spoil a good 2-strike pitch and hopefully give the Rivets their first run of the ball game.
Higgins does have 5 walks this season. Took him a while to get his first walk of the season, but it's been getting better lately. The 2-2. Fastball called, strike 3. Just barely catching the outside corner, and that's the second strikeout looking of the inning for Spencer Arrighetti. 6 strikeouts for the right-hander now as he leaves 2 more Rivets stranded on base, and we're still scoreless after 2.5 from Witter Field. We'll be right back on the Rivets Radio Network. Welcome back to Wisconsin Rapids. 0-0 ball game. Headed to the bottom half of the third. Jordan Nelson will face the lower third of this Rafters order. Christian Sepulveda, Cole Bartles, and Roman Trujillo. And Adam, Nelson is cruising along, just 14 pitches through 2 innings.
This is exactly what Josh Kimes expecting from him, be all around the strike zone. He's been excellent all year for the Rivets, and they could use a great outing from their starter tonight, as Arrighetti is proving really tough to these Rivets hitters. And Nelson is matching Arrighetti, if not doing a little better.
This one has the makings of a pitcher's duel early on. Two relatively good offenses, but the two best pitching staffs in the Wisconsin-Illinois pod. Nelson works from the windup and delivers the first pitch to Christian Sepulveda. Off-speed offering, swung on and missed by the Rafters shortstop. 0-1. Sepulveda went 2 for 3 last night with a double and a walk. 0-1 to him. Curveball buried in the dirt, low and outside. It's 1-1. Nelson has a vast array of pitches. Fastball, changeup, curveball, slider, you name it. He can go all over the place. Here's the 1-1. Jam shot out to third base. McDonald under it and makes the easy catch for out number 1. That's the second pop out to third base this game, Adam, and I think that speaks to Nelson's stuff, really jamming the Rafters hitters.
He's gotten weak contact all game. The only one that wasn't weak was when Thomas Wold hit into an inning-ending double play. And as you mentioned, Larry, he's been all around the strike zone, hitting the spots, hitting the corners, and inducing a lot of weak contact from arguably the best offense in the Wisconsin-Illinois pod.
Rafters rank second in almost every category of offense. First pitch to Cole Bartles. Two-seam fastball doesn't get the call from home plate umpire Tristan Jones, just barely missing, perhaps a bit high. Nelson right back at it, 1-0, chopped out in front of the plate. Nelson charges, gives way to Connor Matthews, scoops it up and throws on to first for out number 2. Nice defensive communication for the Rockford battery there. And it's quickly 2 away, bottom half of the third, still scoreless.
That's a pro move by Manthe right there. The catcher has a leeway to the pitcher, and that one was a bit closer to him too. Got the ball quickly, set up an open lane, and fired a strike to Seymour at first base.
So it's 2 away for Roman Trujillo, the first pitch to him. Fastball called strike. Nelson has been very good at delivering the first strike tonight. He's worked very efficient. Working quickly, here's the 0-1. Fastball lined the other way. Matt Higgins watches it drop in front of him in right field. And it's a 2-out single for Roman Trujillo.
Trujillo entering that AB, batting just 130, but finding some ground in the outfield and turning it over to the top of the order. This should be one of the first legitimate opportunities for the Rafters to try to get some action out of Nelson, make him pay.
That 9-hitter can be so key to turn the top of the order over. Trujillo has some speed, big lead off first base. First pitch chopped to shortstop Brody Harding. Fields and throws in time to Bobby Seymour for the third out of the inning. So Jordan Nelson makes quick work and works around a 2-out single by Roman Trujillo in the bottom half of the third inning. And it's still Rivets nothing, Rafters nothing. Headed to the fourth from Whitterfield on the Rivets Radio Network. Welcome back to Witter Field. Scoreless ball game between Rockford and Wisconsin Rapids, and Craig Noto already tabbing his bullpen here in the 4th inning, and he hands the ball to Gabe Levy, the righty, out of Davidson College.
The rising junior hails from Seattle, Washington. He's been an effective piece out of the bullpen for manager Craig Noto. He's made 4 appearances this season and thrown 6.1 innings pitched, striking out 6 and walking 2 into a 2.84 ERA. And Larry, you'll see this from Noto from time to time. He'll go 1-2, comparing Arrighetti to another pitcher, and they're probably expecting Levy to go 3 or 4 innings for the Rafters.
And with that, here's Adam Cohen for the next 3 innings.
In steps Kamiya. Face bunt, and that fastball misses outside. 1-0. Kamiya on the day, 0 for 1, grounded out to shortstop last time up. In the 5th hole today, usually see him in the first 2 as that fastball misses outside. 2-0. Just tuning in, it's a tie ball game, 0-0 between the Rafters and the Rivets. Here comes the 2-0. Big swing and miss from Kamiya.
Adam, I was not surprised to see Kamiya squared a bunt on the first pitch of the at-bat there. That's what you'll see sometimes from a struggling hitter, just trying to get his way back on base.
2-1. Driven the other way. That one will go foul. Hard shot, though. Hitting the batting cage out in right field foul line. Trying to find any way to get back in the groove, showing bunt at the beginning of the bat, and also big hack on 2-0. Now comes a 2-2. And straight 3 called on the outer third of the plate. Kamiya's down looking on an off-speed pitch as Levy gets his first strikeout of the night.
After Arrighetti delivers 6 strikeouts, Levy picks up his first on the first batter, and the struggles continue for this Rockford order with strikeouts. After not striking out much in the first half of the season overall, they've been struggling with the K the last 2 games.
Right and left matchup. The first pitch to Harding is a strike right down the pipe. And you're right, Larry. Rivets have been struggling with strikeouts. 10.8 K per 9 the last 5 games. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball into dirt, 1-1.
And I think that speaks a little bit more to the Rafters pitching rotation than it does to the Rockford order. Not a lot of these guys are strikeout prone, but this Rafters staff is the real deal.
Levy goes to 1-1. Misses outside. Harding, again, showing bunt. Seen that a little bit from the first 2 hitters this inning, Kamiya and Harding. Trying to get something going, get some extra base hits. Now comes to 2-1. Misses inside.
Hitters count for Harding here. It's going to be interesting to see if he waits for Levy to deal another ball. I think he's going to swing away. Harding doesn't have a ton of power, but gaps are kind of wide open.
Harding hitters count. Driven right back up the middle. Sepulveda snares it, fires to first in time for out number 2. As Harding goes down, it's still a tie ball game, 0-0 here in the top of the 4th between the Rafters and the Rivets.
Harding had the right idea there. He was right on it, but didn't hit it hard enough, and the chop just slowed up a little bit too much, and Sepulveda was easily able to make that play cutting across the diamond.
In steps to righty Daniel Carinci. Canadian from K-State takes a curveball in there for strike 1. Strikeout victim of Arrighetti back in the 2nd. Here comes the 0-1. And swings through that slider.
Levy has done such a good job working quickly and working ahead on the Rockford hitters here in the 4th.
Head 0-2. Driven to center field. Underneath it is Cook, and he makes the catch. An easy 1-2-3 inning for Levy. Taking right after Arrighetti left off, as he'll be right back in the bottom of the 4th. It's 0-0 ball game between the Rafters and the Rivets on the Rivets Radio Network. Scoreless through 3.5. Jordan Nelson back out there as we head into the bottom of the fourth here at Witter Field. It will be 2-3-4 for the Rafters. Entering tonight's game, they are 16-7, easily the best record in the Wisconsin-Illinois pod.
They've been shut down so far. Jordan Nelson really cruising along, and I'm sure Josh Keim would like to see him go some more.
First pitch to Billy Cook, in there for strike one. He's certainly been pitching economically in tonight's ball game. Only 21 pitches. I'm hoping that he can go and give him some life. Here comes the 0-1. Slider misses outside.
For those keeping score at home, that's 7 pitches per inning. 21 divided by 3.
Some quick maths right there.
It's about the only math I can do.
1-1 from Nelson. Dribbled over to third, and it will go in the hole. Camilla has to eat it up. Goes under the dive of McDonald as Billy Cook on board with his second infield single of the night.
That's the exact same thing he did back in his first AB in the first inning. Chopped it right past the diving McDonald, and it was too much for Comia to handle deep in the hole. Leadoff man is aboard. That could be big for Wisconsin Rapids. They haven't done that all night.
The big hitter in Thomas Wold in the 0-0 ball game. Tapped over to second, flipped to short for one, on to first, and in time, a 4-6-3 double play. Harding, Camilla to Seymour. And just like that, Nelson keeps cruising along. Barely over the minimum right now, just 1 over, and he's been excellent tonight.
My, oh my, he's been masterful. One thing that's a bit uncharacteristic for him, no strikeouts, but that's because he's doing such a phenomenal job of placing the ball just a bit in the zone, but not where hitters can crush the ball. He's been pitching to contact so well.
First pitch to Dunham, misses upstairs. Now, Larry, I think we're seeing a little bit of the professor in him tonight. Kyle Hendricks had a great start for the Chicago Cubs last night. He's known for throwing under 90 miles per hour, locating the zone. Here comes the 1-0 from Nelson. Slider misses outside and just pitching to contact.
Yeah, and even Hendricks got some strikeouts going for himself the other night. He had 8, if I'm not mistaken, but you're right. Good comp. Nelson really working efficiently.
Comes a 2-0. Slider misses outside. In threat of walking his first batter of the night. Dunham, of course, has 20 walks on the season so far, leading the Wisconsin-Illinois pod. 3-0. Finds the outside corner for strike one.
That's what Nelson's got to do, just keep pounding the zone. And if you're down 3-0, you got to be careful because you don't want to give up a meatball because one swing of the bat could really change the complexion of this game.
Dunham offers at the 3-1, and he fouls it back. And correct me if I'm wrong, Larry, but this is Nelson's first 3-ball count tonight, and he's already finding his way back, just picking up right where he left off.
You know, I want to say that you're correct, Adam. Unfortunately, I'm not keeping tally of that in my scorebook, but I think that would be correct, just how efficiently Nelson has worked. He hasn't worked many deep counts.
Nelson deals the payoff pitch, but Manthe is unable to corral the foul tip. So we'll do this once again.
Oh, so close. It's Nelson's first strikeout. He continues to battle here. Dunham is a tough out. Just walks a lot. His average isn't the highest, but he can battle. This one rages on.
Could be a big AB for Nelson. The payoff once again. Pote the other way. That one will be out of play. It's probably the longest. It is the longest AB against Nelson. Usually averaging around 7 pitches inning until this point. This AB has to be at least 7 pitches now.
And this is a good thing for this Rafters order. They hadn't been getting deep in counts at all, Adam, and just were really letting Nelson dictate the pace, and Dunham got up there and just started taking.
The 3-2, and Dunham again just fouling it off. You're right, Larry. This is great for the Rafters lineup. Don't want Nelson to get too comfortable 60 feet, 6 inches away. They're looking for base runners and just any way to get on. Dunham, perfect guy to do just that. 3-2. And looks like and either hit the helmet or just missed inside. But regardless, Dunham will find his way on first base.
That's the last thing you want as a pitcher. Have that at bat extended so long, battling back from 3-0 and then dealing a walk on a pitch that really wasn't even close to Dunham. But Nelson has done a nice job shaking off when he's allowed runners to reach, and we'll see if he can do that here.
He'll settle back in against Garriola. Tie ball game 0-0, bottom of the fourth with 2 outs. Here comes the first pitch. Garriola misses upstairs, 1-0. That was a well-fought AB last at bat from Dunham, and Nelson needs to refine his groove against Garriola, the right fielder from Old Dominion. Here comes the 1-0, and swings through that nasty slider.
There you see good breaking stuff from Nelson. That slider is one of his really dominant pitches that he can go to when he needs a wave and a miss.
Rotson fires for the 1-1, and throw over to first base, not in time. Slider missed outside, by the way, and safe back at first is Dunham. All his pitches seem to be working for him today. Fastball, slider, changeup, and curveball. Everything's locating for strikes. You're going to have a good day. Wheels the 2-1, misses upstairs. Finds himself yet again in a 3-ball count.
Bit of a discouraging trend here against the heart of the order for Rapids, and Nelson just needs to take a deep breath and gather his thoughts here. And it looks like he's been struggling with the grip on the baseball a little bit. He's been tapping the rosin bag.
He's a standout pitcher. He's on the Rivets last year. Knows how to find his way back into a tough situation. Taking his time on the mound before settling back in against the righty Garriola. Comes the 3-1. High pop-up in foul territory. Manthe calls off Seymour, and he cannot make the play. Kept shifting to his right. Perhaps the wind kept blowing out, and unable to make the catch. That would have been a big one. It would have retired the Rafters. But Nelson will have to step back in there in a full count.
With a crosswind blowing in from right field and a lot of backspin on that ball, those what look to be like easy pop-ups behind the plate are not easy tasks for catchers, and Manthe just let that one get a little bit too far behind him. Hopefully it doesn't cost the Rivets.
Full count. Tap to short. Kamiya eats the ball up, fires the first. A long throw. Nice stretch by Seymour, and the 6-3 putout is there for out number 3. So Nelson finds himself in and out of trouble, but gets himself out of the inning. Still a scoreless ball game as we head to the top of the 5th between the Rafters and the Rivets on the Rivets Baseball Network. We're in for a pitcher's duel here at Witter Field between the Rafters and the Rivets. Rivets have no runs on 1 hit, no errors. The Rafters have no runs on 3 hits and 1 error now. A quick check on the out-of-town scoreboard.
Well, Adam, around the pod, La Crosse and Wisconsin tied up at 3 at Athletic Park, just up the road in Wausau. And the one other game tonight in the pod, I can't find it.
Levy deals to Manthey and misses outside, 1-0.
Looks like would be the Dock Spiders in Green Bay. There, I found it. 3-0 Fond du Lac on top of Green Bay in the 5th.
1-0 to the catcher on Bradley, and fastball misses outside. Finds himself in a hitter's count, 2-0.
That's why we need a third person on the broadcast, Adam.
Would be nice. Once again, Levy misses outside. 3-0 now.
I don't think they would have enough room up here for us if we brought a third person.
Had some trouble pregame trying to find some room, but it works out. 3-0 to Manthey as Levy finds strike 1. From my perspective, the left side's a bit cut off, and I have to lean a little bit to zoom in, but the view is so nice.
It's a
we'll
great
see what we
view.
can get. 3-1 to Manthey. And strike called on the inside corner. Full count against him. He was already on his way to first base.
That's the second time that's happened to Manthey today. Doesn't have a good idea of the strike zone, and that's pretty telling when the catcher doesn't even know where the zone is.
Offers at the full count, and straight 3 called right down the heart of the plate. Manthey caught looking for the second straight time tonight. 1 away.
That's really surprising. Manthey usually has a very good eye, and as I said, a very good grasp on the zone, as you would expect for a catcher. And the Rivets, again, have not been thrilled with the strike zone of the home plate umpire tonight, Tristan Jones. Last night, Josh Keim got tossed for arguing balls and strikes, and we might get there again tonight.
First pitch to lefty Hughes. Fastball right in there. Just tuning in. Scoreless ball game here in the top of the 5th. There's 1 out. Number 9 hitter Hughes in the box. Here comes the 0-1. Fouls it the other way. And Larry, yesterday we did see manager Josh Keim ejected from the ball game, arguing balls and strikes. Very tight strike zone from home plate umpire Tristan Jones tonight.
I wouldn't even say tight. You know, a lot of it is well outside on the outside corner and kind of inconsistent.
Go to Hughes. And fastball misses outside. See, even that pitch right there looked like a good spot to Dunham. And
it was a little outside, but we have seen pitches where that is called a strike this evening.
Hughes will offer it the 1-2. Driven to right field. But right there, making the diving catch is Andy Garriola, laying out full dive. Hughes hit that one in the screws, but will have to walk back to the dugout as that is out number 2.
Well, Dom Hughes really barreled that thing up. He got a pitch over the heart of the plate, and he was looking for it out in front of it, and that one was falling fast, but Garriola showing no fear and a lot of trust in his glove, snagging that one.
With 2 outs now, all the more easier to face Bobby Seymour, one of the most lethal power threats in the lineup. The first pitch, a righty and lefty matchup, as that slider misses inside, 1-0.
Of course, Adam Seymour, great power threat, but still looking for his first extra base hit this season.
The 1-0 to Seymour, and driven to center field, and that will drop in for a base hit. The Sultan of Singles strikes again, and as you mentioned, Larry, he has really packed up the singles, but has yet to find an extra base hit. In a scoreless ball game, Seymour is on first between the Rafters and the Rivets, with 2 outs in the 5th.
Adam, that was a great call by you, nicknaming him the Sultan of Singles. 21 hits, all singles for the big first baseman this year.
First pitch to McDonald, slider missed outside. I appreciate Larry, and the reason why I call him that is because Babe Ruth in his 1927 60-homer stretch went through a period where all he hit was singles. Of course, Seymour like Ruth, maybe not to the same pedigree, of course, but both of them lethal power threats. The 1-0 to McDonald misses outside, 2-0.
That's perhaps a good comp. Obviously, it's hard to top Mr. Ruth's Hall of Fame career, but Bobby Seymour, quite the prolific threat himself.
2-0 to McDonald. And big whiff on the slider. Wow. Way out in front of that one.
Donald definitely got fooled there. Swinging on 2-1, a bit of a surprise. He's had some really good plate discipline this year.
2-1 now. Once again, misses on the slider. Levy working that outside corner very well against McDonald. Looking for his third strikeout right here. 2 strike count, 2 outs, top of the fifth, and McDonald is down looking. So third strikeout for Levy. And the Rivets once again strand another base runner. Still scoreless through 4.5 between the Rafters and the Rivets, and we'll be right back on the Rivets Baseball Network. After 4.5 innings of play, still a scoreless ball game between the Rivets and the Rafters. Jordan Nelson has thrown 4 scoreless innings. Meanwhile, for the Rafters, Arrighetti started the game, allowed just 1 hit, gave up no earned runs in 3 innings pitched, and Levy is taken off after that. 2 scoreless innings. The first pitch to Zeisler is a strike on the outer third of the plate, 0-1. Actually, that missed outside, late call by home plate umpire Tristan Jones, 1-0. Next pitch, that one finds the zone, now 1-1.
See, there's that outside corner that I think both teams have really kind of struggled with so far today. Not sure whether it's going to be a ball or strike.
1-1 to Zeisler. Misses low and outside. And it's mostly against lefty hitters, too. Not too much against righties. Sometimes umpires have a specific shading or specific alignment. Looks like Jones is on the inner third of the plate for lefties. A 2-1 from Nelson in there for strike 2.
Great job by Nelson not getting too far behind in this count. That's what he did last inning. Jake Dunham drew a walk and got deep in the count against a few other hitters.
2-2. Fouled the other way.
And when you can work ahead, like we were talking about earlier in this ball game, Adam, you know, the first pitch is very important, but it's the first 3 pitches, and if you fall behind 2-1, that's always tough. But if you come back and deliver a strike, 2-2 to even it up, you're in good shape.
Nelson looks to deliver another strike. So that one misses in the dirt, now a full count.
Tried to get Zeisler with the curveball, no dice, and Nelson does have good strikeout stuff, but still looking for his first K tonight.
Throws in the upper 80s, but still unable to find a strikeout. Payoff pitch, and fastball just misses low. Not by all too much as Zeisler works his first walk of the game. That's Jordan Nelson's second. We have a runner on in a scoreless ball game here, bottom of 5th with no one out.
Leadoff man reaches in back-to-back frames for the Rafters. That's got to be a little discouraging for Josh Keim. Still nobody up in the Rivets bullpen. Nelson has done a great job working around trouble, so we'll see what he does against Sepulveda here.
Sepulveda face bunt. as that slider misses outside, 1-0. Looks like the Rafters are trying to get on base any way they can, move runners over any way they can. Sepulveda, usually a power hitter, might show bunt again. Little bat wiggle, here comes the 1-0. As fastball gets the outer third of the plate. Nice frame from Manthe there.
Big time. He brought that one into the zone, and Tristan Jones said, yes, sir. That's a strike. Manthe, very underrated as a defender behind the plate.
He's a quality receiver, good arm, good framer. And a throw from Nelson, not in time. Zeisler off first base. Still no one out here in the bottom of the fifth. 0-0 between the Rivets and the Rafters. The 1-1. And Sepulveda fouls it off to the third base side.
Nelson getting back to 1-2 here. And again, another great job coming back and staying in command of these at-bats. That's been a big difference maker. He's kept these Rapids hitters on their toes or perhaps on their heels. Uncomfortable.
Finds himself another strikeout count, 1-2, and this time gets his first strikeout. Sepulveda chases the high heat with one away now.
That was a well-placed fastball on the outer half. If Sepulveda made contact, that was likely going to go foul down the right field line. That's what you're looking for from a guy like Nelson. The veteran has lots of experience in the Northwoods League and at the D3 level for Dubuque. He's been stellar tonight.
He's best when he's ahead of counts, and he got into a little trouble the top of the fourth. Also in the top of the fifth. Excuse the voice crack there.
My goodness gracious. What
looking,
happens when you eat muffins in between innings?
You know, I'm never doing that again. I was a little hungry, ate a little bite.
I told you. I told you not to.
Always take advice from Larry Larson. That's the one thing I've learned. Here comes the 0-1 to Bartles.
Oh, my word.
This is outside. I didn't think you were going to be that accurate. Chet, that's an 0-2 count.
You just don't want to cover your vocal cords. Chocolate muffins, not a great choice when it comes to that.
Yeah, not the best idea. The 0-2 to Bartles. And Tapper over the head of Nelson. Going to be a tough play for Harding, but he gets the force. Actually, he does not. It's underneath the tag. Somehow, Zeisler slides under it. First base umpire Dylan Holsey makes an controversial call. A little surprised you're not seeing time out here to discuss that.
Well, you know, after last night's events, you know, he probably wants to play it safe, and hard to see whether or not Harding got the tag down there. It was awful close, but a good slide by Zeisler going to the back half of the bag, sliding away from the Rockford second baseman.
Don't know how the big fella and Zeisler got under that tag. But here comes the first pitch to Trujillo, the righty, and he takes a slider outside, 1-0. It's still a big play for the Rafters as they find themselves with 2 runners on base for the first time tonight. Great opportunity to score some runs. The Rivets have really struggled with the offense as well. 1-0. And slider miss outside. Throw back to second, but not in time. Zeisler sliding back in safely if you're just tuning in. Runners on first and second. Still a scoreless ball game with 1 out between the Rivets and the Rafters. As you mentioned, Larry, Manthe is a quality receiver, not afraid to throw the ball around.
He really is, and you'll see those back picks on first base and to second base. He's got a great arm.
Here comes the 2-0 to Trujillo. Fastball just misses outside. Christian Jones, I have to say, terribly inconsistent to strike zone. That one just missed the outside corner. He's called that so many times tonight. And just tough for Nelson to get a good read on him.
To be fair, it is tough for us to see whether pitches are high or low from here.
3-0 to Trujillo, and he takes it for strike 1.
And it is tough to see the depth from that angle, but inside, outside, You're right, Adam. It's been a bit inconsistent.
Nelson will hope to get back in the strike zone. Long hold, here comes the 3-1. And blooped into right field. That'll dunk down for a base hit. Higgins comes up firing, throws to second. Everyone will advance 90 feet as Trujillo gets the 4th hit for the Rafters today. The bases are juiced, and just 1 out bring it to the top of the order in a scoreless ball game.
How about Roman Trujillo today? 2 for 2 with 2 singles in the 9 spot. That's exactly what you want from your 9-hitter to set the table for the top of the order. And now Nelson is really in his first really deep jam of the night and brings out Adam Carey, which I think is a good call.
Carey always seems to come out at the right time, and it's a big moment for Nelson and the Rivets. Of course, the Rivets have dropped 4 of their last 5. Want to get a win on a tough road trip so far. Bring it back home to Rockford tomorrow. And Larry, that play at second base when Zeisler slid in safely just becomes all the more prevalent, because that would have been 2 outs already, and perhaps runners on first and second instead. The bases loaded with just 1 out.
Very tough situation against the tough hitter Richie Schiekofer, but Schiekofer has struggled lately. We mentioned earlier in the show, hit list in his last 4, 0 for 2 today. And if Nelson can continue to do what he has done best today, and that is pitch to contact, induce weak contact on the infield, he could escape this.
Needs to get a productive out here. The first pitch to lefty Schiekofer. Dials it in for strike 1. Nelson has induced 2 double plays today. Would be looking for the 3rd. Here comes the 0-1. This time down the outside corner. He's right back with it. Lost the strike zone the last couple ABs, but finding it again against Schiekofer, the leadoff hitter.
That's what you got to do. You got to work ahead.
Working ahead 0-2. Here comes the pitch. And driven to right field. That will drop in for an RBI single. Coming around to score is Zeisler. It's an RBI single for Schiekofer. And the Rafters now up 1-0 over the Rivets.
That's a big base knock for the leadoff hitter for the Rafters. Schiekofer's been struggling as of late, and nothing will jumpstart you or your team, for that matter, better than a bloop single with the bases loaded.
And out comes manager Josh Keim. He'll take the ball away from Nelson. He had a quality outing for the Rivets. His line unfinished, but as he exited, it is still a 1-0 ball game. He's responsible for the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 5th with just 1 out. And we'll be right back on the Rivets Baseball Network. Brett the Bull Tauker, the big righty pitcher, is on the mound for the Rivets. He relieves Jordan Nelson, who was excellent through 4 1/3. And he enters in with a bases-loaded situation, but he's been excellent for the Rivets all year long.
He has been good, Adam, in 10 innings pitched. He's allowed just 1 earned run, which comes out to a .90 ERA. He's got 11 strikeouts to 7 walks. So he does struggle with control ever so slightly, but he can't do that here. Has no room for error. And we saw something interesting from him after he came out of the bullpen.
He wiped away the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters logo on the pitcher's mound. That's a power move right there. He enters in looking to face Billy Cook, the number 2 hitter, and escape this jam relatively unscathed.
That's a move that you have to follow up with a good performance. You have to be, I don't know, putting your money where your mouth is, and Taucher was wiping away that logo, staring right into the Rafters dugout. Big spot, big spot.
Big righty has a lot of confidence. He'll be facing Billy Cook, who has 2 infield singles on the day, as Cook fouls it off, 0-1. As we mentioned, a lot of confidence, and it's backed up by the flow as well. Luscious golden hair from the right side. Corners in, middle infield back. The 0-1 to Cook, and that gets away from Manthe. Coming around to score is Bartles. Moving up to third is Trujillo, and moving on to second is Schieckhofer. And just like that, the Rafters find themselves ahead 2-0 over the Screws.
All it takes is one rally in a game like this, and Nelson had been phenomenal and loaded the bases, and now it's unraveling a bit for the Rockford pen.
Screws find themselves in a difficult situation now. Infield entirely in, 1-1 to Cook. Deep fly ball to deep center field. Hughes is under it. He'll make the catch. Fires into third base, so it'll be a sacrifice fly for Billy Cook, and coming around to score is Roman Trujillo. And the Rafters now 3-0 here in the bottom of the 5th over the Rivets.
You know, this rally hasn't been a rally of big hits. It hasn't been a rally of, deep fly balls, extra base hits. It's just been get him on, get him over, get him in. 2 singles, a walk, a fielder's choice, a sac fly there, and off the bat, I think a few people thought that could get out of here. Cook put a lot of sky underneath that one.
Wind blowing out a bit, so it did look deep. Here comes the first pitch to lefty Jack Thomas Wold. Half swing, he does go around, 0-1. Despite wiping away the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters sign, did give up a couple of Nelson's runners on base. Standing at second is Schieckhofer now. Still Nelson's responsibility. Here comes the 0-1. Dialed in for a strike, now 0-2. Again, the Rivets pitching has done a phenomenal job today, and the Rafters have not really squared up their pitching, but still taking a commanding 3-0 lead. Comes the 0-2 from Taucher. Dribbler over to first. Seymour flips it to Taucher, and that will end the inning. Not before the Rafters get 3 runs on 2 hits and strand 1. They'll be ahead over the Rivets 3-0 as we enter the top of the 6th. We'll be right back on the Rivets Baseball Network. Here in the top of the sixth, the Rafters finally came through with the first runs of the ball game. They're up 3-0. It's time for the Screws bats to finally wake up. It'll be 3-4-5 as they'll again face Gabe Levy, who's entering his third inning of work.
Wisconsin Rapids pitching continues to be dominant. Best ERA in the pod entering tonight's ball game, and will likely exit the ball game with that high mark. And the Rafters did a really nice job spoiling a good outing for Jordan Nelson.
First pitch to Heinrich, and he does not go around, says first base umpire Dylan Holsey, 1-0. Levy wheels and deals for the 1-0, misses low and outside. We have Nelson's final line of the day. He went 4 1/3 pitch, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. The 2-0 to Heinrich, misses low and outside. He's been on base twice today with a pair of walks, looking to get on base a third time around. The 3-0, again hacking, and a big hitter's count, but will not avail. 3-1 now.
Not super surprised to see Heinrich swing away. Sometimes you just need a spark, and I think the Rivets need that now.
Hoping for a spark on 3-1, and ground it through the hole for a base hit. That's the Rivets' second base hit of the night, and their first since the first inning. It's about time.
It is about time, Adam. They needed it. Boy, did they need that. They need some more, too. Now they're down 3, and it felt like they had momentum after a good start from Nelson, and now all that momentum in the hands of the Rafters. So you got to get the line moving before it gets too late. Only 3 hits last night. Got to keep the line moving here.
Who better to keep on keeping on than the lefty Matt Higgins? The first pitch to him misses low. Leads the team with 14 RBIs. He's been a staple and a middle-of-the-order bat for the Screws all season long. Throw over, not in time. Heinrich is off first base. There are no outs. Rafters are up 3-0 here in the top of the 6th. Higgins sporting some white, black, and orange cleats. Another throw over. Again, not in time.
One of a few players that actually sports some cleats that go with the Rivets team colors. Some yellow accents on there. Black New Balances looking good.
Another throw over. Well, he is a second-year Rivet, so he knows what the colors of the uniform are, of course, knows what it looks like, how to style himself, and it's very flashy.
Higgins does have a flashy style.
The 1-0. Pote foul and out of play.
Now, last year, almost every game, he would sport thick chains around his neck every game. And looking down at him from our perspective, I don't see any chains here, but those things would be flying around every game.
Covers a lot of room in the outfield. No change this year so far. Posts a 1-1 into center field. Underneath it is Cook, and he hauls in the catch for out number 1.
Higgins tried to go opposite field there and just didn't make good enough contact. Got enough contact to poke it out to medium depth center, but no Rivet has really been able to square up the ball for a hit tonight.
You're exactly right, Larry. They just have 2 hits and a couple of weak contact hits, too. Just 2 extra base hits in the last 5 games. Looking to change that is Kamiya, who's 0 for 2 in the night. First pitch on the righty is in there for strike 1. He's in a slump right now, 0 for his last 15, including tonight's game. Very streaky hitter. The 0-1. In the dirt. Nice block from Dunham. He's a big catcher behind there. 5'10", which is a bit small in stature for catchers, but weighs 220 pounds.
You want a brick wall back there, and Dunham has done a great job defensively this season in our time that we've seen him behind the dish.
Throw over, Heinrich back in there. He's blocked a lot of balls in the dirt. We haven't seen too many from Rafters pitching today, but still helpful nonetheless in a close ball game. This Rafters up 3-0 here in the top of the 6th, so just 1 out. Big swing and miss from Comilla. 1-2.
Comilla's swinging hard, but just coming up empty nearly every time. Levy blowing the fastball by him there.
Taking a lot of big hats. Perhaps will choke up on a 1-2 count. Posts that one to center field, but right to Cook for out number 2. Back-to-back fly balls go to him. As 2 away here, top of the 6th, and a 3-0 Rafters lead over the Rivets.
Well, the last thing that you want to do in this situation, Adam, is have that leadoff single from Jeff Heinrich and then strand him there. He hasn't moved from first base, and you want to at least move your runners over a little bit and perhaps get an inkling of momentum that the Rivets just have not been able to do so.
Offense has been struggling. And you're seeing a lot of walks. You saw a lot of walks yesterday, too, a lot of hard-fought at-bats. We haven't really seen that tonight as well. Being very aggressive early on, but nothing to show for as Harding takes a fastball low, 1-0. Certainly had some difficulty over this past 5-game stretch. 5 games behind the Rafters in terms of the best league record. Actually, it's 4. And the Rivets find themselves in 2nd place entering tonight's ball game, just a game behind the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders.
Dock Spiders are a good ball club, and Rivets will see them again tomorrow at home.
Back and forth series against some good teams. Here comes the 1-0. In there for strike 1. That will even the count. Harding does not have a lot of power. No extra base hits on the season, but known for having good at-bats. Rivets do need some more base runners. Could be able to do just that. The 1-1. And Pote to second. Nice easy play for Trujillo as he goes the short way for out number 3. So the Rivets are retired relatively easily. So we head to the bottom of the 6th. Rafters still 3-0. We'll be right back. Rivets Baseball Network. Brett Taucher will go back out there for another inning of work. He'll be facing the heart of the order, 4-5-6. Rafters are up 3-0 over the Rivets here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, Adam, just like Josh Keim said in the pregame interview, There's lots of baseball left. Of course, he was talking about the season, and I'm talking about this ball game. Rivets don't have the momentum in this one. Nothing's really been going their way, but still lots of baseball. Got to take it one inning at a time.
Hope that Taucher can shut down the Rafters as Dunham fouls one off, 0-1. He's been very steady out of the bullpen for the Rivets. Throws upper 80s and low 90s, similar to a lot of pitchers here in the Northwoods League. There's a wipeout slider as well. Mostly a two-pitch pitcher. 0-1 to Dunham. Fastball misses outside. Dunham is a senior from Northern Illinois University. Catcher in tonight's game. He's 0 for 1 tonight with a walk. Here comes the 1-1. Fastball missed inside. Nearly clipped Dunham. Bit of a wake-up call.
A bit. You know, that'll send you jumping or dancing around the batter's box. Taucher can't fall too far behind here because then you could really get your team into some trouble.
2-1 from Taucher. Pop fly right to Kamiya. He'll haul it in for out number 1. The best that the Rivets can hope for is for Taucher to keep holding the Rafters scoreless after they scored 3 in the bottom of the 5th off Jordan Nelson and Brett Taucher combined. We have 1 out now. Bottom 6. As mentioned, 3-0 ball game. Rafters over the Rivets. Right on right matchup. Batter stepping in is Andy Garriola. First pitch to him. And skies the other way, 0-1. Garriola tonight is 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts. 4-3 put out in the second, 6-3 put out in the fourth. Taucher wheels and deals for the 0-1 and just misses the outside corner. He's been painting so far. Low-key on the outside corner, even the inside corner a little bit too, but not getting any calls from home plate umpire Tristan Jones, the 1-1. And a big swing and a miss from Garriola that time around, 1-2.
Yeah, we were talking before the game with a few people here, and Garriola doesn't have the best plate discipline, and there we saw that. Taucher offering a curveball outside in the dirt, and Garriola just gave chase right away.
Taucher looking for the strikeout. Here comes the 1-2. As Garriola fouls the one back to the screen. He does have a team-leading 26 strikeouts. And just a few walks to his name, too. So not the type of walk-to-strikeout ratio you want from a hitter. He does have good power, though. 1-2. Taucher misses upstairs.
Don't want to lose Garriola. And so you want to keep pounding the zone. You're at 2-2. Don't want to take that extra pitch for granted.
Taucher will deal the 2-2, the free swinger. And slides in the dirt, gets by Manthe. It'll be a full count nonetheless now.
See, now it gets tricky because, of course, as we've talked about, the Rafters have momentum. The Rivets do not. And a walk would mean even more momentum for Rapids. And this has been a great at-bat by Garriola.
Payoff pitch from Taucher. Popped up in the infield. Another one hit to Kamiya. Camp under it for out number 2. So Taucher is the victor over Garriola. Very important AB. Because as you mentioned, Rivets cannot afford to give the Rafters any more momentum, especially when they're chasing down 3, which feels a whole lot more with the struggling offense.
It really does, Adam. Earlier in the season, 3 runs, that's almost nothing for this offense, which was firing on all cylinders there for a good while. And now all of a sudden, it's just like the wheels have come off the wagon in that aspect.
First pitch to lefty Zeisler. Misses upstairs. 2 outs now, as we're in the bottom of the 6th inning at Witter Field between the Rafters and the Rivets. Zeisler on the day. 0 for 1 with a pop fly to third base, a walk, and a run scored. Here comes the 1-0 from Taucher. Misses outside. almost lifeless energy from the Rivets dugout. We've seen them get so passionate throughout the season, but just the last 5 games, not too much to be excited about. 2 to Zeisler in there for strike 1.
Yeah, things are definitely a bit quiet in that first base dugout, but that can change in an instant. Taucher can work this 1-2-3 inning, and if the Rivets can get a few base knocks in the top half, we'll see.
2-1 to Zeisler. Fights it off into left field. Right underneath it is Carinci, so an easy 1-2-3 inning for Taucher. Hopefully the Rivets can have their bats start waking up here in the top of the 7th. Be there shortly as the Rafters up 3-0 over the Rivets. We'll be right back on the Rivets Baseball Network. The Rivets have not scored a run through the first 6 innings. Will that change in the 7th? We will find out soon. As the Raptors are up 3-0, they bring a new pitcher in Jack Gonzalez. Larry, tell us more about him.
In 5 appearances, he's pitched 11 2/3 innings, allowed 12 hits, 7 earned runs, 3 walks, and 15 strikeouts. Comes out to a 5.40 ERA.
And now to finish the game back on the sticks is Larry Larson.
Thank you, Adam. Great work as always. Lower third of the Rockford order, starting with Daniel Carinci. First pitch to him, fastball misses high and in. Gonzalez did appear against the Rivets back on July 9th. He was the starter. He went 2 2/3, allowed 3 runs. Works from the stretch, has a herky-jerky delivery, and delivers another fastball inside to Carinci. Chops down to third. Zeisler gobbles it up and throws on to first in time for out number 1 here in the top half of the 7th.
Rafters like putting together Arrighetti and Gonzalez. We saw, of course, Gonzalez pitch against the Rivets last time they faced him back on the 9th. This time he is the reliever of Arrighetti starting.
In steps Connor Manthe, the first pitch to him. Fastball, lower half of the zone, called strike. Manthe 0 for 2 with 2 looking strikeouts. Rockford 8-hitter. Nothing going for the Rivets offense today as Manthe takes a off-speed offering at 77 low and away. 3-0 Wisconsin Rapids. Top half of the 7th. 1-1. Off-speed that time finds the zone, and it's 1-2. Gonzalez has been pouring them in there, and that's what you want from a reliever in the late innings. Comes set at the letters, turns his back slightly, and delivers the 1-2. It's upstairs.
Manthe has a very capable bat, but he will take his fair share of pitches. Took a couple pitch right down the pipe when he struck out looking earlier in this ball game.
Here's the 2-2 to him. Grounded to third again. Zeisler fields, throws just in time to beat a hustling Connor Manthe 2 5-3 put outs here in the top half of the 7th for Rockford. There's 2 down.
Manthe not the fastest runner amongst Screws hitters, but getting them to line pretty hard, giving a hard 90. A nice stretch from Jack Thomas Wold to haul in out number 2.
Brings up Dom Hughes, who's 0 for 2 today. Lefty on lefty matchup. First pitch in there for a called strike. Off speed dots the outer half. Hughes has good speed. 0-1 to him, laced into right field. But Garriola takes a few steps in and makes the catch head high. And that's the 3rd out of the inning. Jack Gonzalez sets down the lower 3rd of Rockford. 1, 2, 3. And the Rivets are still down 3-0. It's stretch time at Witter Field. We'll be right back on the Rivets Radio Network. Welcome back to Wisconsin Rapids. Rivets 0. Wisconsin Rapids Rafters 3. Bottom half of the 7th on a beautiful evening for baseball here in central Wisconsin. The sun has set, dusk descending upon Witter Field, lights taking full effect. And the crowd has come out tonight. Near capacity, COVID capacity, of course, 650. First pitch to Christian Sepulveda from Brett Taucher, misses outside. Taucher out there for his 3rd inning of work. Will face the lower 3rd. Sepulveda, Bartles, and Trujillo. 1-0 to Sepulveda. Fastball misses low. Manthe can't bring it up into the zone, and it's 2-0. Sepulveda 0 for 2 on the evening. Pop out to third base and a strikeout. The only strikeout that this Rafters order has had all night. Fouls that one right back to the booth. Hello. And that one just missed the window to our right. Our PA announcer friend had to duck, but it did not come into the booth, luckily. And it's 2-1.
Larry, that's a bit of a late inning wake-up call for you, too. Put that one a little bit more on the left, and it could have maybe hit you.
2-1 to Sepulveda. Check swing on a fastball in the outer half. He did go. And that is 2-2 now. And Adam, you're right. I was ready to field that one. And from our perspective, I'm surprised that there's not been more foul balls up here. We are directly above home plate. No netting in front of us. Taucher working from the windup, delivers the 2-2. Swung on and missed on some high cheese. And Taucher records his first strikeout for the first out of the bottom half of the 7th.
Taucher lost a little bit of command starting in the top or bottom of the 5th. But since then, he's pitched very well, and the Rivets can't blow another excellent outing from the bullpen. They got 3 2/3 scoreless yesterday from their pen, but the Rivets were unable to come back and get the victory. Hoping that's not the same tonight.
Rivets down 3-0. One out in the bottom half of the 7th. Taucher delivers the first pitch to Cole Bartles. Fastball misses at neck level. It's 1-0. Bartles, the redshirt junior from Penn State, has an interesting baseball story. 1-0 to him. Taucher again goes with a fastball, and that misses well inside at 88. Bartles was recruited as a pitcher for Penn State, and now has transitioned to an outfielder. 2-0 to him, misses high. Yet again, and it's 3-0. Taucher's well behind here.
He actually only started getting reps as a hitter this year at Penn State.
Here's the 3-0. Called strike one, fastball on the inner third. And he fared well, Adam, surprisingly. Hit .316 in 7 games. Here's the 3-1. Slapped the opposite way, tailing well foul into the batting cage down the right field line. Now it's full.
Usually it's the other way around. Usually you see pitchers or hitters turn to pitchers, but not pitchers turn to hitters.
3-2. Yet again, fouled off down the right field line. Almost an identical foul ball to the last one. We'll have another payoff pitch between Taucher and Bartles, righty-on-righty matchup. And one guy I can think of that did that transition well was Rick Ankiel in the majors for the St. Louis Cardinals. Went from pitcher to outfielder. Another payoff to Bartles. Another foul ball down the right side.
He wasn't a bad hitter, and of course he had a lights-out arm when he was a starter, and he brought that into the outfield. One of the best arms in Major League Baseball for years after his transition.
Wrote a book about it. Here's another 3-2 to Bartles, and that one misses low and away, and it's ball 4. Bartles wins that battle, and it's a 1-out walk in the bottom half of the 7th. Rivets down 3-0.
Not only can Bartles rake, but he can also get on base at a high clip. Entering tonight's game, having a .500 on-base percentage, easily the team's lead. And Rafters looking to tackle on a couple more and shut out the Rivets.
In steps the 9-hitter, Roman Trujillo, out of Davenport, has 2 hits today, both singles. Fastball in there for strike 1 on the second baseman. Trujillo had struggled entering tonight's ball game. The 3-year Northwoods Leaguer. And Taucher has Bartles picked off on first base, but he throws it away. Bobby Seymour has to chase it down, and it bounces off the tarp. And Bartles moves all the way to third base. A costly mistake there, Adam. Taucher knew he had Bartles leaning. He was caught in no man's land, but the throw sailed well over the head of Seymour at first base.
Suffice it to say, that's not what the Rivets wanted. Perhaps Taucher saw the runner off the bag and maybe looked a little bit more towards him and just threw the ball away. But now the Rafters are 90 feet away, scoring at their forefront of the ball game.
0-1 to Trujillo, lined, diving, stop by Brandon Comia at shortstop. What a grab. Comia saved a run there as Rockford drew the infield in. On the first pitch, the infield was in, Comia was ready, and there's 2 down.
That was huge for the Screws. Comia showing off his defensive capability all day long, ranging to his left several times today, but that time around getting a hot shot and keeping Bartles off third.
Now it's up to Schieckhofer. First pitch to him, misses outside. 88 miles per hour. Cole Bartles 90 feet away. Rapids looking to add some insurance, already up 3-0. Bottom half of the 7th, 1-0. Fouled off, out of play, out of the stadium. Onto the street, side of Witter Field. Taucher working from the stretch. Bartles with a few-step lead off the third base bag. Here's the 1-1 to Schieckhofer, misses high and in. 2-1 now. Schieckhofer had a big hit back in the 5th. A 3-run 5th inning. It's all the scoring tonight Rafters picking up 3 runs off Taucher and Nelson. 2-1 fouled off to the screen. It's 2-2 on the leadoff man. Adam, up until that 5th inning, it was really an even ball game. Things felt pretty good for the Rivets. Momentum in their favor, but Rapids loaded the bases a few times, and a few mistakes ended up very costly. 2-2 chopped up the middle. Comia ranges to his right, gloves it, throws off balance, and completes the play to Bobby Seymour to end the inning. So a nice defensive play by Brandon Comia with 1 away, saves a run, and strands Cole Bartles on third base after a throwing error by Brett Taucher, and the score holds Rafters 3, Rivets nothing. Headed to the top half of the 8th in Rapids after this on the Rivets Radio Network. Three 0 ball game headed to the 8th at Witter Field between the Rivets and the Rapids Rafters. Rockford looking to the top half of the order to try and get something going after Rafters strand a runner on third base. Some more insurance, perhaps Rockford can turn that into some momentum.
They can look no further than Comia's great play. They need all the momentum they need. Chasing 3 with 2 innings left to play. Lead up to the top of the order and Bobby Seymour.
Bobby Seymour takes a pitch low and away for ball 1. It's his first game in the leadoff spot in quite a while. He's a big power hitter from the left-handed side, usually in the heart of the order for Josh Keim, but he's 1 for 3 in the top spot today. 1-0, big hack and a miss for strike 1. Adam talking to him before the ball game. He said, yeah, I don't remember the last time when I batted leadoff, but he was excited. The experiment has worked out somewhat well. 1-1, chopped up the middle. Sepulveda gobbles it up and throws on to first to retire Seymour for out number 1.
Just to talk a little bit more about Seymour batting leadoff, manager Josh Keim wants to construct the lineup a little bit differently today, perhaps to pull the Rivets out of a funk. Tries to mix and match when things are going tough for them.
First pitch to Cam McDonald, squares to bunt, and the ball seemingly goes right through the bat as McDonald did not pull back and could not get the bunt down. That goes for strike 1. McDonald reached twice today, once on a single, once on an error, and has a strikeout. 0-1 to him. Skied into center field. Coming in is Billy Cook, calls off the infielders, and no, that's going to drop over Cook's head. Coming out is Trujillo to haul in that ball on the bounce. Lots of miscommunication there. And Cam McDonald reaches again.
Larry, you don't see that all too often. Looks like an easy can of corn for Billy Cook. Perhaps when he was flailing his arms out, he meant to say, I don't have it, I can't see it. And the ball was left up to Trujillo to try to catch, but just too far of a run for him. McDonald lets out, getting his second base hit of the night.
I think he lost that one in the lights, Adam. Jeff Heinrich steps into the right-handed batter's box, 1 away in the Rockford 8th inning. First pitch, breaking ball misses low. Heinrich able to check his swing, and it's 1-0. Rivets down 3-0. Looking to come back and looking to avoid losing their 5th game out of their last 6. Jack Gonzalez set from the right-hand side of the rubber. Offers. Heinrich goes the other way. Garriola going back. Number of feet in front of the warning track. Reaches up and makes the catch. For out number 2, McDonald retreats back to first base.
We've seen Heinrich's power throughout the course of the season. That time around, just got a little bit under it. Probably just, he squared that one up. It could have been over the right field fence, but the Rivets will have to settle and still find some momentum as Higgins steps in the box.
Wind blowing in from right field. Tough to fight that off. Jack Gonzalez looking for the sign, steps off for the lefty-on-lefty matchup. Comes set at the belt and delivers the first pitch to the Rockford right fielder. Fastball misses low. Ball 1. Rockford has stranded a few runners on base. 4 officially, but they've wasted a few base knocks with fielder's choices to end a number of innings. 1-0 to Higgins. Fastball right down Broadway for strike 1. Higgins did not offer. And he's 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts. One of the swinging and one of the looking variety. Gonzalez set for the 1-1 and delivers. Fastball outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs. The top half of the 8th. Rockford with some coming back to do. McDonald taking his lead off first base. Gonzalez looks at him and delivers the 2-1. Catches the outer half, and it's strike 2. Higgins has not swung in this at-bat.
Rivets have been taking pitches all day long. Time to wake up, get an extra base hit, and Higgins the right guy to do it. He's an extra base hit machine. He gets it going.
And Gonzalez catches McDonald leaning, but a bad throw allows him to dive back safely. Gonzalez does have a bit of a herky-jerky delivery from the left side. Picks up his leg real big, and McDonald started leaning towards second base. Now Gonzalez delivers to home plate. 2-2, chopped foul, and we'll do it again.
Larry, more on McDonald getting fooled by Gonzalez. First pitch to the AB, Gonzalez was going right towards home plate, and he went right back to first base. So he's definitely confused over there. Runners often have more difficulty with left-handed pitchers.
Gonzalez fires another 2-2, grounded to second base. Trujillo makes the easy play, takes a few steps, and throws on to first. To retire the side. Rockford wastes a 1-out single by Cam McDonald, and they continue to be frustrated on the offensive end. They're down 3-0, headed to the bottom half of the 8th. From Witter Field in Wisconsin Rapids, we'll be right back on the Rivets Radio Network. Rivets down 3-0 to Wisconsin Rapids in the bottom half of the 8th. Josh Keim calls upon the bullpen for the second time tonight, and it's the lefty sidearmer Jake Lotz.
The rising senior from Palos Hills, Illinois, will be making his 7th appearance for the Rivets this season. He's allowed 2 earned runs and 10.2 innings pitched, both of which came back against the Booyah on the 20th. That was his toughest outing so far this season. He only has a 1.69 ERA, and he's hoping to pitch like the former, give the Rivets a scoreless inning as they look to come back from a 3-0 deficit.
Navy blue night sky with the lights shining bright on Whittier Field. Really a beautiful night for baseball. Slight breeze, which has favored the pitchers today, but has not really favored the Rivets pitchers enough, as the Rafters were able to manufacture 3 runs on 2 hits back in the 5th, and that is all for the scoring tonight. Lotz will face 2-3-4 in the Rafters order. The first pitch to Billy Cook misses low and away, and it's ball 1. Cook has 2 infield singles and a sac fly. Sac fly coming back in that 5th inning. 1-0 to him. That time a fastball catches the inner half, and it's 1-1. Cook has been very good lately. You could argue he's the hottest bat in this Rafters order. He's gotten his average up to 237. The 1-1 slapped the other way. Higgins going back. He gets turned around on it, step in front of the track, and reaches out and makes the catch. That's a nice play by Matt Higgins. Very tough to do when you get turned around by a fly ball, but he's able to track that one down a few steps in front of the fence.
Larry, we had the pleasure to talk to Adam Carey about the right-handed slice, and you saw that as Higgins a bit caught up, had to make that hard turnaround, but never gave up on it, kept gearing back, using his good speed, and able to haul it in.
Now we'll have a pinch hitter. It's Parker Nolan subbing in for Jack Thomas Wold. The first pitch to him. Fastball called strike. Nolan did not play last night. Has 1 hit in his last 6 games. The sophomore from Davidson coming in favor of Thomas Wold. And he lines one over the head of Brody Harding at second base into right field for a pinch hit 1-out single. The Rafters have the wheels turning, looking to add more insurance. They're already up 3-0.
That's what you love to see, especially from manager Craig Noto, bringing a pitch hitter, comes through right away. And the Rafters, once again, trying to put themselves even more ahead of the Screws.
Brings up the cleanup batter, Jake Dunham. 0 for 2 with a walk on today's ball game. 21 walks. Now Pod leading. Takes a fastball inside at the knees. It's 1-0. Dunham struggled to start the year. He's definitely been productive, just getting on base, as we mentioned, because of those walks. 1-0 to him. Lotz again misses the zone, and it's 2-0.
Dunham does have a whopping .446 on-base percentage. Anytime you have a on-base percentage 350 or above, that's impressive, but 100 points higher, all the more amazing.
And he's out in front 3-0 after Lotz misses with a fastball again outside. And it's 3-0. Looking at the Rivets bullpen, there is no action. As for the Rafters bullpen, there is some action. Lotz well behind, already has a runner on base. Here's the 3-0 to Dunham. Fastball dots the outside corner that time. And it's 3-1.
Another great frame from Manthe, stealing a couple strikes tonight. And coming again at a crucial moment as Lotz can walk his fair share of hitters. So anything he can get from his catcher can really help him out.
Lotz comes set at the letters, delivers sidearm, and comes back with another strike. It's 3-2 now. Rivets down 3-0. Bottom half of the 8th in Wisconsin Rapids. Here's the payoff to Dunham. Fouled off right into the first base grandstand. It's not what you want to see, but it bounced right off the grandstand back onto the field. Looks like everybody's all right. We'll do the payoff again.
The Cranberry Crazies in the stands tonight nearly got smoked by that hard hit foul ball. Luckily, everyone seems to be okay down there.
Lots of netting around the grandstand, but that one averted that. Here's another 3-2. Misses low, and it's ball 4. So Lotz, after retiring Cook to start the inning, has surrendered back-to-back base runners with 1 out. Nolan on second after a single, and now Dunham on first after a walk. It brings up Andy Garriola.
Rivets have any hope of trying to come back in this game, they need lots to shut these Rafters down right here and right now. Get himself out of this jam.
First pitch called strike to the Rapids right fielder. He's 0 for 3 today. 2 ground outs and 1 pop out. Lotz has his sign, gives a look to Nolan and delivers. Sweeping slider, doesn't catch the zone. 1-1. Rockford infield at double play depth. Comia and Harding the double play combo at shortstop and second base respectively. 1-1 back to Garriola, lined up the middle. Dom Hughes retreats backwards a few steps, makes the catch head high, and throws it back in, and there are 2 away now.
The toughest plays are the ones that are hit right at you. Hughes doing a really nice job, taking that first step back when he saw the ball hit on a rope right towards him. He's able to track it down. It's always difficult, especially when it's hit right at you, but also with a dark night sky above. So an underrated play from Hughes out in center field.
Now we have another pinch hitter. It's Jacob Hinderleiter, freshman from Davidson. So 2 Davidson pinch hitters in this inning. The first pitch to him on the right-handed side, fouled off again to the right side. Those fans got to be ready. So that's yet another foul ball right back at him. 4 strike 1.
You would think they would extend that netting a little bit. It just takes up half of that side, but leaves so many fans exposed. So a little bit of a weird dimension. Now you see the fans start to move a little bit.
0-1, slapped the other way. Higgins giving chase, and he chases it down, running towards the line. That one was falling fast, but the Rockford right fielder able to make the play, and that ends the inning. Jake Lotz strands 2 Rafters on first and second base, and the score remains Rafters 3, Rivets nothing. Last chance coming up for Rockford in the top half of the 9th after this on the Rivets Radio Network. Last chance for Rockford from Winterfield. Rivets down 3-0 to Wisconsin Rapids, and on to nail down the save is Ricky Castro.
The rising junior from Purdue University will be making his 7th appearance for the Rapids Rafters. He has a 5.68 ERA and just 6.1 innings pitched of work. However, in his last 2 outings, he has thrown 1 1/3 scoreless.
He will face 5, 6, 7 in the Rivets order at least. Brandon Comia, Brody Harding, and Daniel Corinci. And none of those 3 hitters have a hit so far for Rockford. They've just got 4 hits compared to the Rafters 5. Rafters up on a 3-run bottom half of the 5th inning. That's been all the scoring in this one. Rockford's offense continuing to struggle. Brandon Comia steps in the right-handed batter's box, righty on righty. First pitch to him, big swing and a miss for strike 1. Fastball at 89 miles per hour. Comia looking to stop a streak in which he is 0 for 16 now. Breaking ball bounces in there, and it's 1-1. Rockford shortstop has been very good defensively today. Cannot say the same on the offensive end of the scorebook. Enters today's ball game with a .217 batting average, 1-1. Fastball inside, ball 2.
You've seen Comia almost try a bit too hard today, gripping the bat very tight and being very late on the baseball. Rivets just need base runners right now.
2-1 from Castro to Comia. Bounces outside, and it's 3-1. This could be a good start. Comia's got to be patient here. Has 12 walks this season. As you mentioned, Castro has struggled a little bit with his control. 5 walks on the season for him. Boilermaker comes set to deliver to the Big Ten rival, and it's another fastball outside, ball 4. Rockford starts the 9th inning with a leadoff walk, down by 3. That's what they need, Adam.
Exactly what the doctor ordered. The Rivets have all singles today, just 4 hits. And they get a cookie right here as Castro walk Comia. And Rivets just need to be patient with him. He's all over the place, throwing the ball to the backstop. Get a couple runners on. Perhaps they could finally come through with a big hit.
Rivets looking to avoid losing their 5th out of 6 games. Looking to avoid a 3-game losing streak. First pitch to Brody Harding inside. He dances out of the way of that fastball in the left-handed batter's box. Comia has good speed on first base. I doubt we'll see him sent here. Castro set for the 1-0 to Harding. It's laced into left field. Coming in hard is Bartles, and he dives and he can't make the catch. It trickles away from his glove as Comia moves up to second base, and the Rivets have the first 2 batters on here in the top half of the 9th.
The last time the Rivets had the first 2 batters on would have to be in the first inning. So they're getting a little bit together here. And instantly enough from a walk and a jam shot of a base hit from Harding.
Now time is called by Jake Dunham. He'll take the slow walk out to the bump to talk things over with his pitcher. Castro allowing the first 2 batters to reach here in the 9th. Rivets down 3-0 against the pod best Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. Came into this game with an 11-1 home record. They have been dominant here at Witter Field. Rivets not so great on the road, entering at 5-6. Screws looking to salvage a road trip. They won the opener in Fond du Lac. Then they lost game number 2 at Hare Baker Field. Lost game 1 here in Rapids last night, and they're on the ropes here in the top half of the 9th this Saturday evening. As now the pitching coach, Austin Heenan, comes out to extend this discussion.
Looks like the Rafters are just trying to settle down Castro. Corinci does have power from the right-hand side. 3 doubles on the season. The Rivets have just had 2 extra base hits in the last 5 days, and they would love a big extra base hit. Speed on the bases with Comia off second and Harding off first 2.
Corinci did have a big hit in the late innings on July 3rd for the Rivets' first victory of the season. Late inning heroics for the K-State sophomore. The Rivets need some more of that. As everybody's set for the first pitch to the Rockford left fielder. Here it is. Fastball low and away, ball one.
Corinci, usually a free swinger, needs to be patient here. Find a pitch that he likes and drive it.
He's 0 for 3 today with a strikeout. 1-0 to him. Fastball again misses low and away. Now you hear the Rivets dugout coming to life a little bit. Castro really reached back on that fastball at 92. He's a hard thrower out of Naperville, Illinois, suburb of Chicago. Comes set on the right-hand side of the rubber at the belt. Here's the 2-0. Finds the zone there, and that's strike one. 2 balls and 1 strike now at 89 miles per hour on that four-seamer. Corinci taps the plate twice, leans back with his hands held high above his helmet. 2-1 on the way. Fouled straight back. Corinci just able to get a piece of that one. And it's 2-2.
He needs to keep the line moving. He's a big strikeout hitter. Sometimes has difficulty working the count. Has to be tough with 2.
Castro looks in for the sign, shakes off the first sign he gets. Now he's got the one he likes. Kicks and fires the 2-2. Swung on and missed. High cheese there from Castro. Really pumped that one in there, high and away. Corinci offered, and that's the first out of this top half of the 9th inning. Rivets down by 3.
Castro being effectively wild so far. That seemed to help him against Corinci. Get him chasing a couple of fastballs and find the high heat to end the AB.
Brings up Connor Manthe, who's 0 for 3. Castro delivers the first pitch. It's in there for a called strike. Fastball right down I-39. For strike one. Brandon Comia on second base after a leadoff walk. Harding followed with a single. He's on first base. 1 out. Top half of the 9th. Rivets need to rally. 0-1 to the Rockford backstop. Swung on and fouled off the back leg of Manthe. It's quickly 0-2. Nice bounce back here from Castro to get out in front.
Manthe, on the other hand, has found himself behind in counts all day long. A pair of strikeouts looking ground out to third. To still be tough with 2 here. It's great plate discipline. He needs to work that to his advantage.
Castro stares in for the sign. He's got it. Sets and delivers the 0-2. Bender just misses inside. The crowd liked that call. So hear them chirping a little bit. It's a big crowd on hand for a Saturday night. Fireworks coming up after this one for those who stick around in Wisconsin Rapids. Castro delivers the 1-2. Swung on and fouled straight back. Manthe stays alive.
Very late swing, but just able to get a piece of it. His coach says he's always even-keeled, even in tough situations. Rivets need to see that version of Manthe now.
Needs some clutch knocks. Down by 3 in the 9th. Castro fires another 1-2. Breaking ball, misses high. 76 miles per hour. Like you mentioned, Adam, Castro has been wild a little bit in this outing coming on in the 9th. Trying to nail down the save. Manthe moves the bat around a few times. Comes set with it on his shoulder. Here's the 2-2. Grounded to the left side and through for a base hit. It's past Sepulveda. Rounding third and throwing on the brakes is Comia. And the bags are jammed after a Connor Manthe single. The Rivets are cooking in the top half of the 9th with 1 away. And it brings up the 9-hitter Dom Hughes. That
was a clutch 2-strike approach from Connor Manthe. Just trying to put bat on ball with 2 strikes. Didn't get all of it, but grounded right through the hole. And as you mentioned, where bases are juiced, as Drew Grace will pinch run for Manthe off first base. And in steps Don Hughes, who has a knack for coming up clutch. Also a big hit against Green Bay, and several extra base hits to his name this season.
And now Craig Noto will take the ball from Ricky Castro after he loads the bases and only retires 1 Rockford Rivet. Here in the top half of the 9th, we will see who's coming on to try and nail down the save in a jam. After this on the Rivets Radio Network, don't go anywhere. Rivets need 3 to tie. Welcome back to Witter Field. Rivets down 3-0 in the top half of the 9th, but they've got the bags loaded after Ricky Castro only retires 1 Rivet. But jams the bases, and Craig Noto hands the ball to Braden Bonner.
The senior from Dixie State University has a 1 ERA in 9 innings pitched this season, walking none and striking out 6. Perfect man for the job to try to seal a 2-game sweep for the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. Rivets have been more strikeout prone in the last few days, and they always can work a good at bat. So not allowing any walks this season helps them out too. Good reliever in a tough situation.
Bonner, the returner for Craig Noto and company, was the best reliever for Rapids last season. He was the closer and recorded 11 saves. He will face Dom Hughes with the bases jammed, the Rockford 9-hitter. And Bobby Seymour, the leadoff man, waits on deck. Brandon Comia on third base after a leadoff walk. Brody Harding on second after he singled. And after Carinci struck out for the first out of the inning, Connor Manthe battled and won with a single. He's on first base, but he got pinch ran for by Drew Grace. Grace pinch running for Manthe on first as Hughes steps in. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Bonner staring in, long flowing hair out the back of his cap, wearing long socks. First pitch to Hughes. Jam shot fouled straight back just below our broadcast booth. Made a loud clanging noise. That's a loud strike 1. Hughes is 0 for 3 tonight. 2 flyouts to right field and a strikeout. He's hit the ball hard a few times. The 0-1 to him. Fastball with good late life. Doesn't catch the inner part of the zone. The crowd liked it. Home plate umpire Tristan Jones did not. 1-1. Rivets need 3 to tie and send it to extras. Tying run is Drew Grace on first base. Bonner set for the 1-1 to Hughes. Fastball in again, and it's 2-1. No room for Hughes on the base paths.
Hughes, who always stands in on the plate, using that to his advantage. A couple of close calls in the inner third. Both of them being called for balls from Tristan Jones.
Tough batter to pitch to, standing at 5'9". Against Bonner. Here's the 2-1. Slapped the other way, out of play, down the left side. And now it's 2-2 on the Rockford center fielder. we were talking about Daniel Carinchi's big heroics back in the first road trip of the year in Green Bay. Dom Hughes is another guy that came out with a big knock in that one. Had a double that won the game for the Rivets in extras. They need another knock from him here, looking for his first hit of the day. Bonner kicks and fires the 2-2. In on Hughes, and it hit him. That's 7 hit by pitches on the season for Dom Hughes, and that one was perhaps the biggest of them all, as it brings in Brandon Comia from third base. The Rivets chip away 1 run. It's now 3-1 for the top of the order. Bases still loaded. Bobby Seymour steps in.
As we mentioned, Hughes will stamp on the plate. League leading 7 hit by pitches, using that to his advantage. Couldn't have been more clutch right there. And Bobby Seymour, an RBI machine, has tenure at Wake Forest. Comes in a situation trailing by 2 with the bases juiced.
1 base knock today. 1 for 4. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. The first pitch to him. Fastball inside, but called strike. Seymour bumped his hips backwards to avoid that pitch. But it's 0-1. Seymour led the entire NCAA in RBIs in 2019. Won 2019 ACC Player of the Year. It's the 0-1 offering from Bonner on the way. Big hack and a miss on a changeup. It's 0-2. Seymour looking to avoid his second strikeout of the day. Appearing in the top spot for the first time this season. Rockford needs him here. Harding on third base. Grace on second. Hughes on first. Rivets down by 2. Here's the 0-2 to Seymour. Fouled off down the left side, well out of play. Young man will chase that one down. Seymour has more life.
Yeah, we've seen Seymour in so many 0-2 counts this season. He's come back in a lot of them. More than your average hitter. He's been struggling with the extra base hit all season. The Rivets would love to see him come through. Biggest moment of the year for him. The base is juiced right now.
Steps out, adjusts his batting gloves, steps back in. And awaits the 0-2 from Braden Bonner. Here it comes. Called strike 3 on the inner half. A fastball. Paints the black, and the Rivets are down to their final out. Bases still juiced, and it's up to Cam McDonald with the screws down 2.
Huge strikeout for Braden Bonner. Bobby Seymour still a power threat at the top of the lineup. Led the team in hits. With him down, now all Bonner needs is to get out McDonald and seal a 2-game sweep for the Rafters.
McDonald has 2 hits today, has reached 3 times, also has a strikeout. Righty on righty now. First pitch to him. Fastball called strike. Now Bonner is really pounding the zone, feeding off this crowd. They've all stuck around. Big grandstand surrounding the infield here at Witter Field has been buzzing all night. Bonner stares in, comes set at the belt with his back turned towards McDonald. Here's the 0-1. 2-seam fastball finds the zone again, and the Rivets are down to their final strike. Down 2 in the top half of the ninth. They've already pushed across 1 run. Got the bases loaded. Base hit could tie it. 0-2 on the Rockford third baseman. Holds his bat out. Now has both hands on the bat. He's ready for the 0-2. Here it is. Grounded softly to second base. Roman Trujillo gobbles and throws. And that's the ball game. The Rivets fall 3-1 here in Wisconsin Rapids. And they drop 3 out of 4 games on the road trip. The Rivets have now lost 3 games in a row, and they have lost 5 of their last 6 games.
It's the first time the Rivets are back at 500. They're 12-12 now since Fond du Lac on July 8th. It's been a real tough stretch for the Rivets, and this game was eerily similar to their 3-2 loss in the final game against Green Bay and during their homestand. They seem to have rallied late, seem to get the energy just a bit too late for comfort and unable to pull through and tie up the game, extend the game, and they've fallen yet another heartbreaker.
We'll be right back with the totals after this on the Rivets Baseball Network. Rivets fall 3-1. Welcome back to Wisconsin Rapids. The Rivets fall to the pod best. Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. Here are your final lines. Rockford losing with 1 run on 6 hits, 1 error, and 8 left on base. Wisconsin Rapids coming out victorious with 3 runs on 6 hits, 1 error on 7 left. The winning pitcher for Rapids is Gabe Levy, who came on in relief of Spencer Arrighetti, went 3 innings pitched, allowed 2 hits, no runs, and struck out 3. Losing pitcher is Jordan Nelson, made a spot start for the Screws today. Looked solid in 4 1/3 innings pitched, but loaded the bases in a fateful 5th inning and allowed 3 runs, all of which were earned, walked 2 and struck out 1. The Rivets fall to 12-12, as Adam Cohen mentioned, for the first time since July 8th, when the Rivets were 4-4, and Wisconsin Rapids improves to 17-7, 10 games over 500. Adam Cohen, any final thoughts before we hit the road?
I'd like to add that Braden Bonner gets the save, throwing .2 innings of scoreless ball with a strikeout. And just a really tough road trip for the Screws. They lost 5 of the last 6 games and lost 3 out of 4 on the road. And again, way too late for the offense to come through. Rivets, for majority of this season, had their offense on throughout the entire ball game, but now they're going to this poor trend of only coming up late in the 9th inning. They had opportunities throughout the game and a couple runners on base several times throughout the ball game. Even in the top of the 9th, they had bases loaded, 1 out, trailing by 2, and just couldn't capitalize and tie the ball game or even get ahead in the ball game. It's been a really tough stretch offensively, and hopefully with another Rose Never homestand, they can get back into their groove.
Rivets will head back home to Rockford to take on the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders for 2 games before hitting the road yet again on Tuesday. Adam, that's going to be a big series. Fans, you can catch all that action on the Northwoods League Baseball Network. Adam and I will be back on the call on television that time. But for now, that about does it from Witter Field in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Again, the final. The Rivets fall 3-1 to Wisconsin Rapids. So for my partner, Adam Cohen, I'm Larry Larson saying so long, and we will talk to you tomorrow.